மாண்புமிகு தமிழ்நாடு ஆளுநர் திரு ஆர்.என். ரவி அவர்களே, மாண்புமிகு அமைச்சர் திரு சிவாவி மேநாதன் அவர்களே, கேசிபி நிறுவனத்தின் தலைவர் மற்றும் மேலாண்மை இயக்குனர் டாக்டர் வி.எல். இந்திரா தத் அவர்களே, இயக்குனர் திருமதி கவிதா தத் அவர்களே, சிறப்பு விருந்தினர்கள் ஆன்லைன் மூலம் இதனை காண்பவர்கள் అనివరకం వణకం. చాలా సంతోషం ఈరోజు మిత్రులు పెద్దలు అనేక మందికి మార్గదర్శకులైనట్టు శ్రీ విఎల్ దత్ గారి యొక్క జీవితం పైన ఒక వారి జీవన యాత్ర పైన స్వయంగా వారి శ్రీమతి ఇందిరా దత్ గారు రచించిన పుస్తకాన్ని ఆవిష్కరించేందుకు అవకాశం లభించడం చాలా సంతోషం. ఇట్స్ రియల్ ఎమోషనల్ మూమెంట్ ఫర్ మీ టుడే యాజ్ వీ లాంచ్ దిస్ బుక్, డాక్టర్ విఎల్ దత్ గ్లింప్సెస్ ఆఫ్ ఎ పయనీర్స్ లైఫ్ జర్నీ, written by Srimati V.L. Indira Dutt. My late friend Sri Velagapudi Lakshmana Dutt was a respectable industrialist, philanthropist and a visionary for excellence. It has been almost 2 years since he left us, but his friendly and warm nature, love and hospitality remain etched vividly in my memory. There are few people who leave indelible impression on the sands of time, and Sri Dutt ji was one such blessed soul with whom I shared a good relationship. Born to Sri Velagapudi Ramakrishna Garu and Srimati Durgamba on December 27, 1937, Sri V.L. Dutt earned a name for himself in the business community in India and also abroad. As the chairman and managing director of KCP Limited, he proved himself a worthy heir to his illustrious father, who made great contribution to the India's nation's development, first as an ICS officer and then as an industrialist. It can be rightly said that if Sri Ramakrishna showed the seeds of KCP Limited, it was his son, Sri Lakshmana Dutt, who nurtured it into a banyan-like tree. Sri Lakshmana Dutt headed industry body FICCI during the crucial years of 91-92, when the economy was passing through a tremendous phase, and his vision and foresight played an instrumental role in bridging the gap between the government and industry during those days. Indeed, Sri Dutt Garu was not an individual, but he was an institution. He was a corporate statesman who inspired a whole generation of young entrepreneurs. As executive chairman of the KCP, Sri Dutt Garu made successful ventures in various sectors, including cement, sugar, heavy industrial machinery, power generation, IT and hospitality. Conscious of his societal responsibilities, he served on the board of various charitable organizations such as Indian Education Trust, Chennai, Wellington Corporate Foundation, and Cardiac Medical and Research Foundation, among many others. Sri Dutt Garu was a great visionary and a stalwart in administration. Here, I would like to narrate one particular incident as a testimony to his management competence. There was a sugar factory near Challapalli in Krishna district which was making heavy losses and defaulted on farmers' payment. Then Chief Minister, late Sri N.T. Ramarao Garu, called over Sri Dutt Garu and told that farmers in the region had fallen on hard times and wanted someone like Sri Dutt Garu could take over the management of the factory. Sri Dutt Garu took an extraordinary, courageous risk, and KCP took over Challapalli sugar factory in 1987. Sri Dutt Garu, through his enterprise, hard work, discipline, modernized and transformed the factory within a year, and most of the dues of farmers were cleared in a record time. During his lifetime, Sri Dutt Garu touched many lives, and more outstanding quality he had was that of giving unconditionally without any expectation. In memory of his late father, he established a trust called as the V. Ramakrishna Charitable Trust, contributing to the cause of education, health and rural development. He generously donated large sums for construction of colleges, skill development centers and health facilities. For his illustrious services, Sri Dutt Garu was showered with numerous awards and recognition at national and also at international level. In 1989, the government of Andhra Pradesh conferred him with the Yajamanya Ratna Award. The President of Vietnam, our friendly country, presented him with the Friendship Medal in 2017 for his contribution to the development of socio-economy of Huyen province and contribution to strengthen traditional relations and overall partnership between India and Vietnam. Besides these, ASEAN India Achievement and Excellence Award and Paul Harris Fellow Award by Rotary International are some of the notable recognitions. My dear friends, the world knows Sri Dutt Garu is a successful businessman, but this book brings out his human side. While sifting through its pages, you get to know him as a family man, his conduct as a husband, father and a friend. I must compliment Srimati Indira Dutt Garu for sharing the memories and the experience of her beloved husband for the larger benefit of all of us. It is to her credit that the reader gets a completely fresh perspective into Sri Dutt Garu, fun-loving and cheerful personality. His hard-working but humble nature and concern for the well-being of others. He was a people's person who enjoyed being with the people and giving them importance in his life, a quality so starkly missing in today's highly competitive business environment. This book has rekindled my own memories about Sri Dutt Garu. We used to discuss issues of common interest. Sports used to be one such topic of discussion. Like me, he was also a sports enthusiast and would often fly to London to witness Wimbledon tournaments. Today's young entrepreneurs should learn from him and always find some time for sports and outdoor activities. No matter how busy they are, if one remains physically fit, one can be mentally alert and make better decisions. So one has to be physically fit, mentally alert, so that you can take correct and proper timely decisions. The younger generation should really learn from his personal life the way he lived for himself and lived for the people, and set standards in business and also followed ethics. This is the most important lesson one must learn from his life. These books might come as a surprise for many who knew Sri Dutt only as a business and busy industrialist. When you read this book by Srimati Indira ji, You will marvel at the manner in which he balances life, family life, and the business world perfectly. It is not that much easy. I have my own experience. This should be a lesson to all businessmen and entrepreneurs. While performing one's professional duty, one should give equal importance to friends and family, because in the end, this is what gives one an everlasting joy and support. I would urge all business leaders to frame their HR policies in such a way that their employees are able to manage their work-life balance easily. This would not only lead to better performance by employees, but would also help in addressing mental health issues which are rising in our society. With the fall of standards, ethics, and competition, and the increasing desires, we are all seeing people are getting mentally distressed. Added to this, with the advent of the net, the information that is fed to us, right, wrong, false, sensational without sense, makes people worry more. So in such a situation, you need to not only take care of our physical health, we must also focus our mental attention. One can be spiritual, one can be a music lover, one can be a sports person or a sports lover, and one can also spend good amount of time with family and friends so as to enjoy the life. Most important thing I feel personally, what I have learned, you must spend enough time with nature. Nature gives us happiness. That's why I always say nature, culture together for better future. But unfortunately, now in this modern world, with the new technology and also the new architecture that has come in between, we are neglecting the nature, missing the sun, not your sun or our sun, sun God. Sun rays gives good amount of energy, enthusiasm. Sun, air, water, our beautiful the trees and our earth, they make our life very comfortable. But unfortunately, because of fashion and lack of passion for the enjoyment of nature, we are all missing it. Recently, we are seeing nowadays the modern architecture, while light is prevented, natural light. Recently, I was going through the house purchased by my daughter in Hyderabad. So I was going around and went to the washroom. And there I opened the tap. And the water and stuff falling in that tub, it is coming on our body, half of it. Then I asked them, who is the architect? They told me about a young lady's name. I said, call her, if she is available nearby. Then she was called. I took her to washroom and showed her the wash basin. Asked her, Ma, what is this? She said, sir, it is a fashion now. Fashion. I said, what is the fashion? Water falling on you? Hello. Then I told her, and I asked her, Do you know Telugu? She said, yes, I understand. I said, Amma, Saukaryama, Saundaryama. Saukaryama, Saundaryama. You want comfort or you want only fashion? But now fashion is prevailing our minds. We are seeing in the rooms also, early days there used to be only one light. Now you have 30 lights but no light. And then you have to go for a better light or reading light, for better light. This experience of COVID has shown us that we must live with the nature. Just recall, the people in the rural area, farmers, agriculture workers, they are less affected by COVID. People in urban areas, they are more affected. Why? As I could understand, it's because they are working hard, physical activity is there, comparatively less mental stress, and also living with sun, with the nature. Even if they are affected because of some people in the city, they went home to meet their parents during their COVID and transmitted this to others. But effect was less. The lesson simply, according to me, my own experience shows that one must live with the nature. Promote nature. Our country is such a beautiful country. And if we make it a habit to live with the nature, we can have a better life. This has to be understood by one and all. And also some amount of physical fitness. After it, because of the, as I told you, the so-called competition, life is becoming, people are becoming lazy, crazy. And you are seeing what is happening. And also the food habits, modern food habits. You are fortunate to be born in this country where you have thousands of varieties, thousands, if not more. All varieties you can enjoy. Go to any part of the country. But still we are trying to follow West and go for food which is not suitable to us. Our food is decided by season and reason. But the food we are trying, our youngsters, pizza, burger. I am not against pizza or burger, though I have not tasted them yet, I will not taste them also. Per se I am not against. They are suitable to those conditions, to those people. For us, for our conditions, our people have lived for thousands of years and also experienced and gave it to us. మన పెద్దలు ఆది కాలం నుంచి వేదకాలం నుంచి పురాణ కాలం నుంచి జీవించి అనుభవించి రంగరించి మేళవించి మనకు అందించిన వారసత్వం ఉంది, చక్కని భోజనం ఉంది. మన ఇడ్లీ సాంబార్కి ప్రపంచంలో ఎక్కడ పోటీ లేదు. మన ఇడ్లీ, మన దోశ, మన వడ, మన ఆవడ, మన కూరలు, మన తినుబండారాలు, వీటికి ప్రపంచంలో ఎక్కడ పోటీ లేదు. దాంట్లో ఉన్న రుచి చెప్పనరివి కానీ నేను పని కట్టుకొని చెప్తూ ఉంటాను. మన కొంతమంది ఇవన్నీ పాత చింతకాయ పచ్చడి సార్ అని. పాత చింతకాయ పచ్చడి తింటే కదా దాంట్లో రుచి తెలిసేది. ఓల్డ్ టామరిన్ చట్నీ, if you eat it, then you will enjoy, you will never forget it also. Because time tested, according to season, according to reason. So the one lesson we have to learn from COVID is eat proper food, sumptuous, proteinous. Going for junk food and fashion. The other day I was just watching Sadhguru's program. He was telling that Americans do not eat Indian rice. Why? They prefer Thailand rice. Then he asked them, what is happening? They said, you take out all the energy from your rice, make it very white, without any substance. So we don't eat Indian rice. This correct, fashionable. As I told you earlier, Saundaryama, Saukaryama. పోషకాహారమా ఫ్యాషన్ ఆహారమా అందరం కూడా ఆలోచించుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం ఎంతో ఉంది. And also the one lesson is that spending time with the family gives you happiness. India's family system is appreciated by worldwide. But unfortunately in India it's becoming weak. This is an area where all of us, particularly youngsters, should think about. So the book mentions one incident in Dutt's life. Once when Indiraji's mother was seriously ill, Dutt told her, Kumari, don't worry about company's affairs. I'll see that they are taken care of by someone or other. You just focus on mother's health. Here was a true son speaking his samskara. Samskara. This is what we call as samskara, Indian samskara. With his samskara speaking, his compassion and respect for elders. These are the qualities that make one great. The virtues of respect for elders, service and compassion are at the core of our civilizational values. And everybody must have some aim in life. Aim high, dream high, work hard. This is what our civilization has taught us. And we must tell our youngsters about these civilizational values. And we should not only live for ourselves, we must live for others. If you live for others, you will live forever. This also has to be understood by all. Though Sri Dutt Garu was a high-flying corporate leader, he never forgot this. Present generation must draw inspiration from personalities like Sri Dutt. I agree with Srimati Indiraji's observation in the book that collapse of joint family system has led to the dilution of mutual care and concern. The spirit of adjustment, that is also very much required. And corrective ethos. Our youth need to understand that this age-old tradition needs to be preserved, propagated for their own good. He proved the meaning and spirit of the adage, Atidevo Bhava, while conducting his guests. On several occasions, I myself had an opportunity to enjoy his lavish hospitality and nostalgically still remember those days. Sri Dutt Garu was a very warm soul with no vanity. He was lovingly playful with all children in the extended family, a man of clear consciousness. He was affectionate to everyone, children, friends and relatives. His passion for work was such that he looked upon his factories as his matriarch. KCP Limited made tremendous progress under his active and constructive leadership. The leadership must be constructive. People also must be constructive. Unfortunately, nowadays, obstructive, destructive mentality is creeping in. We are a nation with great civilization values. We are a nation with great skills. We have bright future. India is on the move. If all of us join together and think constructively, positive of course in COVID is a bad word, but in life, positive attitude has to be there. Everything has to be taken positively. That will really make you happy. What is required is not mere wealth and health. What is required is happiness. happiness. If we make systemic improvements, if you make system work, if you make governance work, and then if you reach out to the people, and then if everybody follows rules, regulations, procedures, systems and customs, the life will be happy. Otherwise, there will be tension, no attention, only pretension will be there. This is what we are seeing. Peace of mind is the prerequisite for progress, for individual as well as society or for the country. As I told you, if you have tension, you cannot pay attention. And many people are suffering with the tension without any necessity. And some people are busy. I try to find out how he is busy. Busy. You don't know why he is busy. Always busy. The stability, the inner peace, the tranquility, they gives you more strength. This has to be understood by all. And Sri Dutt Garu lived a very meaningful life. He was not only glamorous but also humorous. In life, there has to be certain amount of humor. Humor has to be there, glamour has to be there, and grammar also has to be there. Grammar means meaning. Meaning, I am not talking of the other grammar. Grammar. Your life must have a grammar. What for you? You must make a mark. You must bring respect to your family, to your native place. And you must also bring respect to the country by your conduct. This has to be understood by one and all. My dear friends, today I was going through the book. I was deeply touched by personal details of Indira Dutt's marriage ceremony with Sri Dutt Garu at her native place, Muktiala. One more thing that I particularly liked in this book is that Indira Ji has mostly written all names in full. That's also a problem nowadays. Change names, sir, short names. I studied in a college, PR college. We were wondering, what is the full abbreviation? So Venkatagiri Raja's college, but many people do not know. Roads also, MG Road. Mahatma Gandhi ko MG bana. Sardar Patel Road, SP Road. Why? We must really use full names. That keeps the identity also. One has to understand that. I would like to congratulate Srimati Indira Dutt Ji for coming up with this beautiful book. Is not only beautiful but also dutiful. It reminds you about the duty performed by her late husband. And I also would like to compliment Sri Atreya Sharma Garu and Mrs. Ambika Anant for transcribing her thoughts beautifully. Sri Dutt Garu's legacy lives on and will continue to inspire generations to come. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind. Nandri. Vanakkam.